What up? Welcome back to the channel. This is Wealth Frequency with Justin Jack Bear. Talking about the Internet Computer Protocol. Why? Because innovation always wins. So I'm back to speaking with a potential client to develop their backend system onto the Internet Computer Protocol. And we got some progress, some movement on potential start dates, and potential start dates on integrating post-quantum NIST encryption. And we'll be integrating into the backend encrypted canisters on the Internet Computer Protocol. So there are some people who are building on the Internet Computer Protocol. There are a lot of people who have and do spend a lot of time wasting their time scrolling, commenting on the Xverse and everywhere else. So I'm just focused on building, researching, getting to the bottom of things. And so far, I see the Internet Computer Protocol as the greatest potential technology and greatest upside in price. And I've worked on development for the past 2 years with canisters and smart contracts, and I'm quite pleased with it. I went all in to figure it out, to get as far as I could, and I was impressed from the beginning. So now that CaffeineAI is out, I've had fun running some initial dApps, testing the limits of CaffeineAI, but I also built from scratch. Developing canisters using DFX commands, CLI and DFX commands in VS Code, all self-taught, developed, 2,000 plus hours. About 6 months before CaffeineAI came out. And even though it was announced at the time, I still was committed to understanding the technology, understanding the future of technology, understanding the future of the Internet Computer Protocol and the Internet 2.0 and where the future was heading. And so I spent nights and hours, days, coding like a mad scientist. And trust me, I don't love this stuff. I don't love the code programmer developer workloads, debugging, fixing, logic. I don't love it. But I did it because I needed a foundation to understand if this technology was worth my time and investment. And then all the hype leading up to CaffeineAI was great because it allowed people to understand where the next innovations in web development would come from. I saw a news article about Shopify in Canada, one of the largest tech firms and employers in Canada, going through some initial mass layoffs because of the vibe coding platforms that have just come out this year. And so now everyone is a developer for basic websites. And those are true indicators of what's happening, and that the AI revolution and narrative is taking real world the real world by storm. In the next 5 years, we'll create more millionaires than the internet did in the last 25 years. You really have to think about that statement. And that if you're in the tech space, and if you're not innovating, and you're just duplicating, blockchains duplicating and packaging, repackaging same features and ideas and calling it a full package, full branded product, is the kind of thing that we're seeing across the blockchain space. But the true innovation has come from Internet Computer Protocol and the Affinity Foundation. They've really put something together that's set up and built for scaling AI and the future of the internet, Web3, Internet 2.0. So super exciting to be here on the ground level. A lot of people got wrecked in the price-wise. People priced themselves out of the market. People bought too early or they bought too late. And if you do your own research, like most people won't do, who are commenting on the internet on creators' contents, the same bullshit that all the advocates and developers for Internet Computer Protocol get and receive, is that the FTX scandal was at the forefront of the price crash when it initially launched back in 2021, I think it was. So it's taken Affinity Foundation, the backing of governments, government pilot projects, big legacy tech pilot projects, for Dominic Williams and his team at Definity to rebuild the trust, regain the trust of institutional adoption, government level investors, institutional investors. And 44% of ICP holders have their tokens locked up. So this is bigger than Bitcoin, and nobody else sees it right now, and that's fine. There's enough going on in the world for other people to be distracted and their attention on the things that don't matter. People are still engaged in conversations and arguments and back and forths, and I don't have time for that. If you're too busy building, you don't have time you're too busy to debate. I'm not here to convince anybody that the technology exists or to buy ICP as part of their financial portfolio. I'm here to show everyone that it works and that you need to do the work in order to get the outcome that you need. And people are learning the code, they're learning the platforms, they're doing the research, and those are the groups and teams and individuals that I want to work with and who I want to have conversations with. And my community is great. You guys are freaking amazing, blowing up my YouTube, almost 1,000 subs, going to be monetized soon, offering one-to-one promotion and consulting. If your project needs some plugs, I'm totally willing to work with you on a paid basis, but just know that all my work day in and day out while I'm onboarding this new client out of the United Emirates who's got a startup and wanting to move the backend to ICP, here we go. So a lot of the work is going to be done by the developer in working hours, development hours. But what this startup is getting from me is 24/7 around the clock research, auditing, community engagement, social information sharing, article building. This is future tech being integrated, implemented, and teams getting built. And so the point of the story is that if I did not do all the work on my own, all the sleepless nights, working 20 hours a day for 6 months, breaking the code, breaking the websites that I was developing, breaking the games that I was developing. There was a point where I had no idea what GitHub was meant to do, and that I should send copies of my work into GitHub. And I had broken my app so many times. My game had broken so many times. It was the most difficult and stressful, that's where I got all the gray, stressful time in learning how to develop how systems work, how code works, how to see how the tree and the breakdown looks, how GitHub works, how to leverage all the tools that have been created to create a Web3 environment in a safe, secure, encrypted, tamper-proof canister that runs on individual independent nodes around the world, which people still don't seem to understand. That's the advantage. The advantage is the encrypted canisters that cannot be hacked. Boom, that's the selling point. So we're not comparing vibe coding platforms. We're not competing with vibe coding platforms. We're not competing with, well, we're competing with big legacy tech, but the reality is big legacy tech are adopting Internet Computer Protocol. There was an article about Google piloting ICP, which may or may not have been responsible for the spike in the last month. There's a number of things that coincide with that time frame that may have revealed possibly some super cycle burn rate for applications. Now, if anybody was a millionaire or billionaire who staked their ICP, which, almost 2 billion have staked to make up the 44%, almost 50% of Internet Computer Protocol locked up indefinitely, and then applied their project or launched their service and started to eat up all the cycles that are remaining on exchanges or in the open market, they literally will be able to monetize the decentralized ICP application and platform, because nobody owns ICP. There's a DAO governance system that is constantly being updated, upgraded, and worked on by the Definity Foundation in real time without losing downtime for systematic and operational live system protocol feeds for websites, dApps, games, software. And then Utopia being a division of Definity Foundation for small medium enterprises and probably large enterprises. Again, as we're seeing, adoption is happening. So it's not about nobody's using it. It's not about nobody's investing in it. It's not any of those things that people comment or speak about day in and day out, repeat, vomit, when they should just really be developing. But it is happening, and people are adopting, companies are adopting. I'm integrating startups, and so far the system works. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at today. Super excited. 2026, taking on 2 VIP clients for my year for 2026. Locking in client number 1 right now, hopefully, with my revised proposal, and looking for any great developers who have experience in backend integration for ICP, canisters, that sort of thing. I'm confident that I can do it. I've done it before already. Not too worried about that, but I need to be the face of the product project and deal with the business side of things if I have reliable developers who can participate, who want to work. So if you're a developer and you have a lot of experience, send me your GitHub, comment your GitHub. I see most of the comments. I skip all the nonsense. Or go to jackbear.ai. You can contact me there. I'm promoting ecosystem projects. I'm looking for great developers to work with. I have already some developers lined up for these projects, but the more access to skilled developers, the better, because I'm positioning myself in the market as an expert in business integration, partnerships, joint ventures. So looking forward to seeing you all. I appreciate you all, the subs, likes, and comments. You guys are killing it. The best community in crypto. Super happy and excited. Get yourself ready for this next year. Do whatever it takes to get yourself healthy, get your mind frame and your mindset right, and be a part of the solution. Because if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Until the next video, stay groovy.